The following program
did
paid
not
for
know
by Right
that.
Path Real Estate does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
Yeah.
It's time to get on the
Good
right
lesson.
path
You only have to
with
learn
Right
once.
Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry.
Man,
Get
that
the
was a
answer
good
to your
deal.
question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
Welcome to the show. Hey, Facebook folks. Oh, and Instagram, and Twitch, and Periscope, and AM 1110,
Get ready.
KTK,
The
and
guy that will put your fears behind
SoundCloud,
you is
and
on the air
iTunes,
now.
and iHeart, and TuneIn.
713-785-1817. Toll
YouTube.
free 877-881-0271.
Podcast.
We're not
Now
live on
here's
YouTube
your host,
yet.
We're not
Tom
live, but
Perry.
people are a lot of
Mics
people
are
watching
hot.
YouTube.
Hey, welcome. Our mics are hot. The show is hot. Real estate is hot.
Yes, it is.
So, welcome to the show. This is Right Path Real Estate Radio. My name is Tom Perry. I am the host of the radio show. My co-host today is my brother from another mother, the guy that I love as a brother, and his name is Mr. Danny G.
What up, everybody? I tell you what, man. When you think about who you want to go to war with, who do you want to be in the trenches with? I can't think of a better person to be down in these trenches with, fighting the fights that we fight every day, man.
Yeah, which
I
is
really
just the
enjoy it.
marketplace, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I'm not. That's not a negative connotation,
Right.
at all. But when you're doing this business at a high level, I mean, you're in the trenches.
Yeah, and
You
a lot
know,
of people
it's-
don't know what that means to do business at a high level. I mean, I can tell just, we oftentimes, people ask us, well, Tom, how do you find something to talk about every single day? I mean, let's just talk about what I did yesterday,
Yeah.
right? So I didn't go to the show yesterday because you filled in the show because, I've got a 13-year-old daughter turning 14 next week. And so there was about now my daughter called me the night before and said, Dad, I really don't think I'm getting my braces off tomorrow. But her orthodontics appointment was at 9, and so I was there at the previous orthodontics because there was a possibility it was coming off then. And then so the orthodontist said, hey, look, we normally only schedule the early morning appointments for people getting their braces off. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and give you an early morning appointment for next week because
Just in case.
there's a possibility. But don't be disappointed if it doesn't. So show up 9 o'clock, and not only is she not getting them off, but it's probably 3 months away.
Okay.
Now it could be sooner, but the doctor really didn't want to be pinned down on a date. But
Yeah.
my daughter she's a consummate salesperson.
Yeah.
And I wonder where she gets that. And so she was like, yeah, but doc, I mean, if you did have to say, I mean, I know you don't want to say, but if you did have to say, what would you say, right?
Nice.
And I was like, yes, my little girl.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Ballpark round numbers. You don't have to be exact.
yeah, right. Yeah, you like that, huh? So the doctor said, well, if I had to be pinned down, maybe 3 months, right? Could
Okay.
be less, could be more, but let's estimate 3 months.
Okay.
And so she says, so my daughter says, so not before summer.
Not before summer.
Which is like a month away, right? And definitely not before her birthday. So I did that first, and then I had some appointments here. So I
Yep.
came in here, took care of some stuff here in the office, and then
You had a couple closings. You had to sign off on those.
did a closing,
Yeah.
right? Had to sign off on that. Then also had to go to the bank. You and I hooked up
Yeah.
and went to go. We bought a property down in Sagemont area.
Yeah. Subject to.
It's a rental subject to numbers.
Beautiful house, man.
Yeah, numbers on it. The guy owed about $150, and worth low side $165, high side $180.
So I ran comps when I got back to the office, and I came up with about 172.
Okay.
Because I was giving numbers over the video, but I hadn't actually looked at them myself, so I want to go back and look. So I think 165 is super conservative.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
But what I love about the Sagemont area is it has been in such a high demand for such a long period of time because it's right there, just west of 45, just south of the Grand Parkway,
Yep.
and not Grand Parkway, the Beltway.
Beltway,
Sorry,
yep.
Beltway 8. I mean, it's so close to so many things, job related. It's a good blue collar neighborhood.
Downtown so easy from that area as well.
And the other thing that I like about it is that if you get a house in there, that there's a lot of owner occupied.
There is.
And I love owning rentals where, like there's an area up in Spring that, I used to like a lot because it was probably 80% owner occupied, 20% rentals. Well, then it flip-flopped, and now it's about 70% rentals, about 30% owner occupied. I don't like that as much.
And the owner occupieds have also felt the change, and they're just waiting to get out.
Right, exactly. So that means that you've got tons of competition on rentals there. Means that some investors are good at managing their properties, others are not.
Correct.
Means that you're really not getting the kind of appreciation that you would if you have retail owner occupants in there.
Yes.
So one of the things I like Sagemont a lot because it's such a high percentage of owner occupied, which means I honestly think that call me crazy, but I think in the next 5 years, those are going to be houses not in the 170 range. Because I remember just like 4 years ago, those were $120,000 houses.
120, 125,
yep.
easy.
Right.
Yep.
And so in 4 years, they've gone from 120 to 175, 172. Yeah. I think in another 4 years, it's going to do even more than that. I think you're going to be looking, that's a $225,000, $250,000 house. So what happens, would you buy something that only has $20,000 of equity? Our monthly payment on that is $1,200 a month for PITI, and it rents for $1,500-$1,600 a month.
Between 15 and 16. Yeah.
So, I can cover the $1,200 a month. It doesn't really, you did a walkthrough. It needs a shower head. It needs a touch-up paint just to the right of the countertop. So it looks like a new paint job. It's hard surface flooring, tile all throughout
the whole house.
Yeah, it's got a nice refrigerator. Has washer and dryer. It has everything. The air conditioning is in good shape. The roof is in good shape. The foundation's in good shape. The plumbing's in good shape. It's got no issues.
Yeah.
So we took it down subject to, and I'm going to hang on to it and probably sell it in 4 years when it's $225 or $250.
Yep, absolutely.
And then cash out. Probably make $100.
Rents will be $1,800 by the time you sell it.
So made $20,000 in equity capture on the front end. That's probably going to grow to $100. So it'll grow another, I think, $75,000 over the next 4 years. So do the math on that. That's about $18,000 to $20,000 a year. Just letting it sit there, letting it perk. It's a little bit like a crock pot. Just let the crock pot sit there, cook overnight. Softens up everything, softens up the marketplace. So we went and looked at that. I immediately went to Spring. We had an appointment to meet a gentleman. He actually is a landlord.
Okay.
But he's never been mentored, never been taught, like a lot of people.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how big the market is for landlords that have never even heard of real estate education, never heard of the right way to do it. They've
never been to a class,
never been to a club, never
been to a club. Never like, wait, what? That exists? What? You should have seen the look on his face. I'm like, hey, have you plugged into the real estate investor community? He's like, looked at me like, never even occurred to me that would exist,
you
right?
mean there's 1,000 people that meet once a month in
the
city?
Right, allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly?
Yeah, right, yeah. So, for those of y'all that don't know, Dr. Dotzauer is going to be in town in April.
There'll be 1,000 people there for that.
There will, if that, if maybe more, right?
Yeah.
So then met with him, and he's tired of being a landlord, which I said, look, there's two routes. I can help you learn how to be a better landlord, right? Or I can buy your house. And I did the numbers close, like what we teach at our Wealth Through Real Estate Academy, and which is our 2-day event. And so, went through that with him and said, hey, here's basically where we are. Made an offer on the house. He wants to get some bids to like he had an electrician there working on some stuff.
Okay.
He's got it rented Section 8. That's his first experience ever having a tenant before. He walked in and he was just SMH and just shaking my head. He was just like, oh my God, just what? He's like, what are people thinking here? And then I realized how little he knew about certain things. We did a walk around the outside of the house.
Yeah.
And the secondary drain line was like drip, 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 drip. And I go, hey, do you know what that is? He goes, oh yeah, of course. The line is frozen and it's dripping because it's it's thawing out. I'm like, no. That's over. Let me show you where that would be.
Yeah.
And I said, look, it's not
over by the unit.
That's over by the condenser, right? That's a secondary drain line. And when this drips, that's an indicator. But it had dripped so much that whoever lives there had put a bowl, to catch it. But then the bowl somehow got moved, and so it is digging out this.
Oh wow!
This hole that is probably 15, 16 inches deep and about 2 foot wide.
Wow.
And so So I'm like, yeah, that's that. And then so went upstairs because the electrician had some stuff to do upstairs just to show him what was needed, where the drain line clean out was, that kind of stuff. So, I feel like I'm a teacher at heart, and I'm a giving person. I want to make a difference in other people's lives. So whether I buy his house or not, I think there's, I asked him, I took his temperature. It's called a temperature close. Hey, scale of 1 to 10. 1 means you hate my offer. 10 means you love it. I mean, where do you think you are? And he goes, I'm about a 7. I go, well, that's reasonable. I mean, I'd be shocked if you told me a 10, but you understand how I walked him right through how I got to the number and all that. I mean,
yeah, and he's obviously not an idiot, right?
And he goes, you know what? I didn't really know what to think. And he goes, but now I understand the math behind why it is that you offer the number that you offered, and it's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
And his house is paid for. He's behind in some taxes, so I know he's doing some things wrong. Anyhow, so went from that to another appointment down near Sunnyside.
Okay.
And again, we were talking about this at our base camp meeting last night. And I said, looked at contracted a property last night in Sunnyside, and they're like, Sunnyside? I mean, like, no way. I mean, what?
You don't know,
right? Because you don't know. And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. The reason why our group, it's a mastermind, really.
Yes.
It's an interview process to get into it. But look, if you're not surrounding yourself with people that challenge your thinking, then you will only grow to your own level of incompetence.
Correct.
And I say that respectfully. I mean, we all have our own level of incompetence, and you know what you know. And so last night was an amazing mastermind and base camp group because we were challenging people's thinking. And I want to talk more about that on the other side of the break. So basically, I finished up, met with 3 of the family members, but only 2 that have inherited this property. And made an offer, they accepted, did the paperwork, all that kind of stuff. I mean, so we'll talk more on the other side of the break.
Awesome.
You listen to Right Path Real Estate Radio.
We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Y'all please join us.
Mics are off.
Good morning, Christina. Brad, good morning, brother. Kelly, good morning. Ginger, always a pleasure. Mrs. Perry, good morning. Mr. Dover, good morning. How are you?
Real estate investors, do you need a lender
Flip
that
my
moves
Houston
fast
houses,
at the
good
speed
morning.
of a jet to fund
Andy,
your
good morning.
investment properties?
Lovey, good
Jet
morning.
Lending will help you purchase properties quickly
Tay D,
with
good
as
morning.
little cash out of pocket as
Dope
possible.
since 94, good
Jet
morning.
Lending also
Benjamin,
sets
good
up a
morning.
repair escrow fund.
I noticed
to
that the
help you with
names
repair
on
costs.
Instagram
Jet Lending has
Whatever they want them to be.
are a lot
loans in
different than the
Texas
names on Facebook.
valued at
For
over
sure.
$250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals.
Victor, my man, what's going on?
281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't
There
forget
must
about
be
our
a new note
famous
coming out.
Third Wednesday Super
There
Investor
is.
Networking
There's a note 3
meeting.
coming out.
Lots of fun.
I'm sorry.
Lots of great real estate talk. We'll
The
see
brand
you
new,
there.
new and
Note 10.
improved.
Note 10.
The brand new and improved Note 3.
Note 10. It's their third operating
money in
system.
the real estate.
I owned a
Your
Note
insurance
3 and then
company
the
is
Note
slow or
4.
non-responsive.
So that's what I'm
I
holding
even
on
owned
for.
the
Like
Note
that.
7.
Yeah,
That was
I've
the
never
one.
had a note.
Binders.
Yeah, I
I've
love
always had the Galaxy.
That is Benchmark
Yeah.
Insurance Group of Texas.
My first
The team at
Galaxy was
Benchmark
a
understands the investor mindset. They
Galaxy
know what you
4.
need
That was when
and
I
you need
stepped
it.
iPhone's the way to
They're
go.
for you.
smartphone.
Yeah, a kid
Leading
phone,
real
right.
estate risk
Yeah.
management experts.
My kids all have
Benchmark
iPhones.
Insurance
Yeah.
Group of Texas.
Big Galaxy, the kid phone.
569-43.
Well, I mean, you can hand a Galaxy to a 3-year-old and hand an iPhone to a 3-year-old.
Online at benchmarkbroker.com.
They understand how to
Are
use
you
the
looking
iPhone
for an
pretty easily.
investor-friendly
The Galaxy will break real
contractor
fast.
for your investment
It-
property?
yeah.
Then call
It takes
Fast
an
Track
adult to
Remodeling
operate
at
it.
832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Droid's one
Fast
for
Track
everybody. I know
Remodeling
that.
specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's
Y'all
a
know
flip
I'm just
rehab
playing,
or a
right? I'm
rental rehab,
just trolling a little
manage
bit
every
We love all
aspect
you
of
Apple
rehab
users.
from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success.
Vicky, good
Use a
morning.
detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach
Yeah,
us
'cause
on the
that's
web
not
at
allowed.
fasttrackremodeling.com.
Coming back in
Do you
1
have
minute.
cracks in your brick? doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart, then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house builders, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mics are hot.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to give us a call and ask any kind of questions. So back to so the day finished out, went to that, made an offer on the property, got accepted. We're gonna have to do some things, clean up title, that kind of stuff. So then went to our mastermind base camp group last night. It was from 7 to 8:30, and we ran a little long.
Yeah,
but
it was 9 o'clock, I think, when I got off.
Yeah, and really what we started out with is, brought up a particular fourplex and said, hey, let's run the numbers on this deal.
Okay.
And then, based on that, because we also have, everybody in our base camp is also part of our Asset Buyers Club. And the Asset Buyers Club are people that want to put their money to work, don't necessarily want to build a business like what we built at Houston House Buyers, don't necessarily want, because there's two ways to do that, right? Build a business, being in real estate full time, or put your money to work. And we've taught both of those over the last 3 years. I mean, I'll teach you how to wholesale, teach you how to flip, but it's not a process of going from wholesaling to flipping to buy and hold. And again, that's a thought process.
Yep.
I see so many people. Now, here's the thing. You may have a thought process says that I've got $1 million and I want to go buy 4 $250,000 houses and pay cash for them and just rent them out for $2,200 a month. I'll manage them myself. Yeah. I'll get, $8,800 a month coming in off the $1 million, which, that's 8.8%. Yep. If well, actually, it's a little bit more than that. Take that back. It's 8,800 times 12, right? 8,800. That's assuming 100% occupancy. That's 105,600. But that's not all. That's gross revenue.
Yeah.
You're still going to be, even though you don't have PITI. You only lose the P and the I of that, the principal and the interest. You still have the taxes. You still have the insurance. You may have an HOA. You still may have some miscellaneous expenses. You have to allow for some vacancy a little bit, whatever, right? So let's say on $1 million, 3% of that's $30,000 a year, right? So take $30,000 out of the 105, that's 70-something thousand, and then you also insurance. Let's say that's $15,000. So you're losing about 4.5% out of the 105. Yeah. So you're down to around, let's call it 7% return on your money.
7%'s a good number.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Then let's say that it appreciates at 10% a year. Okay. I mean, it grows 100,000. So now you're up around 17%. Nothing wrong with the 17% rate of return.
Not when you're comparing it to the stock market and things like that.
Correct.
Sure.
Beats the S&P 500. It's not as good as Buffett. I mean, Buffett's averaged about, I've got one source that says 19 and some change. I've got another source that says 21%. Yeah. And they're, I've got Money Magazine says one thing. I've got CNBC says another. I've got, so they're reliable sources. So let's call it right around 20%.
Sounds right.
Over about 50 years of investing.
Yes.
He's averaged about 20%. So if you're doing just under what Warren Buffett does, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, that's one way to think. And if you only rely on how you think yourself, then nothing wrong with doing that. Now, you could also look at leverage. With that same $1 million, you could leverage 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1. You could do the math at 5 to 1 leverage, even if you didn't get a 7% rate of return. Let's say you instead of buying $250,000 houses, you bought $150,000 houses that are appreciating. I'm conservatively saying 7%. Okay. It might be closer to 10, but let's just say 7%. and I'm using a higher 10% on the 250,000, which if I'm gonna, I'd say it's probably less likely that you get the 10% on the 250.
Yeah, it's probably the other way around.
Then you get the 7%.
For the sake of argument.
Yeah. But if you buy $5 million worth of real estate, put 20% down, and we know that in almost any bank, if you put 20% down, you can leverage at 80%. And we're talking about single-family houses here.
Correct.
So now you buy $5 million worth of real estate, and you end up with a 7% growth on $5 million instead of a 10% on $1 million. I mean, that's $350,000 of appreciation, which is 35% on the million.
Yes. Not even including cash flow yet.
So your cash flow is going to be less, right? But wait, is it? It's really
not by that much.
It's really not at all, because here's what happens. When you're starting to use leverage money and you don't have as much of your own money in the deal, because the taxes and the insurance and all that are the same regardless.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about principal and interest, right now we've got such a low cost of money, your cash on cash return actually goes up.
Okay.
And so you end up with, let's call it a 40%. So 17% is good.
Yeah.
And we could even get more conservative. Let's say you, instead of a 7% appreciation, it's only 5%. Well, now you're at 25% on the $5 million of the properties. Yeah. And let's say you have a 10% cash on cash. Now you're at 35%
conservatively.
And that's just 2 of the 5 ways that we make money in real estate. So if you don't have somebody in your life that's causing, like, hey, you can look at it this way, but then let's look at it slightly different also, right?
And that's really a lot of what Basecamp is about.
It really is. Now, here's what I'd say. If you still choose to do, you say, Tom, I hear what you're saying, and I've considered that, and I want to make a conscious choice to still pay cash and still do it that route. Okay, that's fine.
Great.
I mean, I'm not saying that you have to do it this one way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you should have the choice. But is there anybody in your life that's challenging what you think you already know? And if there's not, then, why not?
Yeah, how would you ever grow?
Yeah, right.
You wouldn't.
Right.
And, I think the same thing, it can be said in business. One of the things I like most about, working for you and your companies is it's not a direction. It's not, you're not walking around giving direction. Right, you give direction when necessary, but 90% of the time we're giving feedback. Right. What's the best course of action?
What I feel like my job is, as the leader of the organizations, is to cast the vision. This is where we're going.
Yes.
And this is our goal. This is the target. It's almost like the captain of a ship. You know, it's like I'm gonna plot the course. But then I want the team to say, hey, this is the best way. I want the guy that's the expert in the sales to say, hey, the wind's blowing this way. We may be off course a little bit, but we can pick up speed going this. Now, if you go just to pick up speed, if you've ever sailed, I love sailing. Bought a catamaran recently.
Yeah.
Somebody reported that I bought a boat, and that's true. And they said that I spent like $40,000 or some ridiculous, big, huge. The boat I bought, it's kind of funny because you want to talk about a small world and relationships and things like that. Yeah. I saw a Facebook post in the marketplace on the Facebook marketplace. There was a catamaran for sale, and it's a NACRA is what it's. So almost everybody knows Prindle, or everybody knows Hobie Cat, right? Yeah. So Hobie's the big manufacturer, but Prindle came out with a new design, slightly different. We won't get into the details because most people don't care. But then there's a racing catamaran called a NACRA.
Okay.
Super fast, neat catamaran, brand new. They're only about $8,000 or $9,000. But I thought, there was a guy from our old office, which is 2 miles from here.
Yeah.
Probably a mile and a half from there. Guy that grew up in the area, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Had one for sale that, he just ran out of his boys have gotten a little bit older and they're involved in sports and stuff like that. And he goes, I haven't sailed it in a year. And he goes, it's silly.
It's wasting it.
So he goes, I want somebody to use it. And in fact, he's going to come sailing with us because built a relationship with him. $2,500. Easy. Trailer, boat, nice. Everything for $2,500.
You didn't break the bank.
Didn't break the bank. $2,500. So now it's sitting at the Galveston Beach House. But here's the funny part. When you talk about how small the world is, like I grew up going to a church in Memorial called Chapelwood.
Okay.
And so when I was a senior in high school, I had a girlfriend that went there also.
Okay.
So now, she's gone her direction in life. I've gone mine. But we stay in touch. I mean, we talk maybe once a year or something like that.
Okay.
We're friends, and I keep up with her and that kind of stuff. And he actually sits... He goes to the same church there now. She still goes there. He sits on the pew behind their family, her family. Talk about a small world. And so when you realize, hey, who I was in high school, that guy is still this guy. And so because I was doing the right things there, I don't have to be embarrassed by who I was back then because they know each other. And then that, can you imagine if you were like that jerk and either then or now?
And then he goes and says,
hey,
I met Tom.
Yeah. And
she automatically.
And she said, oh, you're going to, man, he's, she said nice things about me.
Of course.
Yeah, right. And then he had nice things to say to her about our interaction and all that. So relationships matter.
Yes.
That's really what life is about because you never know when you're going to come into contact with somebody again. And and I'm constantly blown away. Another event. So I was at an event.
Wednesday night?
Yeah, it was Wednesday night, right? Because I had to go I did the webinar here, went to the Real Acquisitions event.
I know exactly what you've been doing all week because I've been sitting in a class wishing I was doing everything that we would normally be doing.
So AG says, look, I've had this business coach for the last year. Can I introduce you to this guy? And I've told you this story. So
2 minutes.
Meet this husband and wife. And the husband, we're talking, he's asking my story, and he gets my name, and all of a sudden have you ever talked to somebody and you feel like they want to be fully engaged, but they're somewhere else. They're not on a beach in Hawaii or something like that, but they're trying to figure out, they're trying to put some pieces together.
Yeah, they've got some wires they're trying to connect somewhere.
And I didn't know it at the time, so I kept, what I find is I'm pretty good at reading people when I'm watching them, when I'm talking. And so I kind of slowed down my story a little bit because I realized he wasn't fully engaged in the listening. And then he asked about where I go to church, and then I asked about where he goes, so he goes to a big mega church.
1 minute.
And he goes, and so I said, well, hey, do you know so and so? And he goes, no, I don't know them. And I said, well, do you know this guy? And he goes, you're that Tom Perry. And it turns out that like one of his best friends was the guy I was going. I said, look, he goes, well, like what's a typical day? And I described, what I'd done just Wednesday. Yeah. And I said, I'm at this event now. I've got another event right after this event, which, was already 9 o'clock at that point, going to another event after my 9 o'clock event ends. Right. And then he goes, oh, you really know him then? I'm like, yeah, every Wednesday, no matter where we are, we get together. Yeah. And we normally get together at this place, but no matter where we are, we get together every Wednesday. So do you have people in your life that are like that? Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. We're going to continue more on the other side of the break. I'll be right back. I hope you will too.
Mics are off.
Good morning, Sean Brisby, WK Dan, person without a name. What's your Instagram handle? Oh, it's just space.
Do you have cracks
cool.
in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. So Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. Excellent. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary pier work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com. Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties?
They've got an update. Windows
properties quickly with as little cash
is a service that updates are a normal part of keeping it running securely.
Also sets up a repair escrow fund. You with repair.
You don't want to just hit update right there?
No. Originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over.
Hey guys, when we come back from the break, I'm going to step away for about a minute or two, so I'll let you guys know when I come back.
Okay, cool.
On value. cost of repairs,
yeah.
and potential
Gotta take
loan
care of some
amount.
personal
Jet
business.
Lending is your fast and friendly hard money
Yeah.
source for
It happens.
first-time investors and seasoned professionals.
I got a story for you off the air about the bathroom key. Do you have one?
7800 or email
Yes.
us at
Okay, good.
@jetlending.com.
You're one of the few, right?
I'm one of the
forget about
managers
our
here, so yeah, I have
Yeah,
one.
of
Third
course.
Legacy Super
I'll
Investor
tell you a story
Networking
off air
meeting. Lots of fun,
about that.
lots of
It's
great
kinda
real
cool.
estate talk. We'll see
Nice.
you there.
Time is money in a real estate deal.
Morning, David.
If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Coming back in 1 minute.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
Like 3 years ago.
No more managing it yourself. No more
That's the
doing
problem
the
with
work
putting a
yourself.
number in a,
Fast Track
in an
Remodeling
ad like
really
that.
does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832
Coming back, stand by.
They're doing like 20 at a time now.
9992.
Yeah.
Again, that's
Which is awesome.
832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mics are hot.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. So we're talking about, do you have someone that challenges your thinking?
Yes.
And I know that I've got specific people in my life. You know, the guy that I meet with every Wednesday, he's one of those. I know that the Basecamp group, which is a mastermind. And so like last night, you know, most of the guys in there are buying single-family properties. But we had a situation yesterday where, you know, we ran the numbers on one fourplex property and then had another person I know that has 2 fourplexes for sale.
Yes.
And so it's really, you know, for the last, well, since July of 2013, so coming up on 6 years this July, right?
Yep.
So we're in April already. So in another 3 months, and then I had done 7 properties with a previous partner, right? So, you know, and I've been in sales for a long time. So if you're going out meeting directly, belly to belly with a seller, and you've done that literally, I mean, over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I've met with sellers, and you're in a situation where it's not where somebody's presenting you a deal saying, well, this is what I'll sell it for, and this is what, you know, you've got to learn how to do your numbers.
Yes.
And not only that, you've got to learn how to do them quickly.
Because you're doing it live on the spot.
Yeah.
And it's not speculation.
No. And it's not something like, hey, I'm going to go home, sleep on it. I'll come back with you tomorrow. Now, does that happen every now and then? Yes. And I'll tell you where that happens. It's normally when you have such an outlier, it's like a one-off that makes me nervous anyway, right? That I'm like, I don't even know that I want it because there's nothing else like it. You know, like somebody did something really funky, you know, or it's in a funky area, or it's you know, whatever, right? Yeah. Now, given enough time, I'll come up with a number, but somebody says, Tom, do you always make an offer? No, I don't.
No.
And we talked earlier in the week. Go back and listen to the previous show on Facebook.
So what would you say? Is it 50% of the time? Is it less?
That I don't make an offer?
That you do make an offer.
Oh, no. It's probably less than 50.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but close to that. Maybe it's more than 35, maybe 42, 45%, something like that.
So less than half the time.
Less than half the time.
You don't make an offer
Correct.
more than you do.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I recognize is that
that's a mindset shift for a lot of people. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So if I'm going on 15 appointments this week
and making 15 offers
and making 15 offers, and now you're telling me that half of those I shouldn't be.
Right.
It's like,
so if I went on 15 appointments, that'd be 3 a day, right?
Yep.
Then I would expect to make offers on probably 5 of those and probably buy 3.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'd probably buy 3 out of 15. About 20%. Yeah. Which you can do okay on that.
You can.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know the numbers are pretty good on that. So hey, good morning, James. So so back to last night's base camp. So what we did is we did the exercise with this 1 4-plex.
Yes.
And I was just blown away by, how because it wasn't really the number that I was concerned about. It was the thinking that came up that got people to the number.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not really an area that I'm like, wait. I mean, because like the numbers on this particular 4-plex, it was in the 4-plex, there's 2 1-bedroom, 1 bath, and then there's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then there's a 2-bedroom, 2 bath.
Okay.
Right? And so we figured that in the area, here's the thing people don't realize is that rents have been rising for a while.
Yes.
And so there's a floor. You can't rent any place. For $100 a month.
We can agree on that.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't rent any place for $200 a month.
Also, we can agree on that.
So what's the floor of where you go, you know what? That's a clean, safe place.
Yeah.
What's the floor on that? And I would argue it's about, depending on now, if you go rural, maybe it's $500 a month rural, right? But even that, it's right.
Yeah.
I know.
Not clean and safe.
Right.
I think even rural 700.
Right. So we're talking about a 1-bedroom, 1 bath.
675.
So then they're like, well, who's going to rent a 1-bedroom, 1 bath that's not going to be families? And I'm like, yeah, not. But
No, definitely not going to be families.
Not going to be a family. No. But where do you rent? I'll tell you who wants to rent it is somebody that wants to move out, doesn't want to live with mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
And so can they afford $750 a month? And so the answer is, I think, the market. So what do? We ran comps. What are 1-1 renting for over there? And they're renting for about $750 a month.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, $750 plus another $750, and then I think the 2-1 might go for about $950, and the 2-2 probably maybe $1,050. So let's just round that to $1,000 and $1,000. So we've got $1,500 and then 2 more $1,000. So you're at like $3,500 a month. And so how do you evaluate what you would pay for? And if you've never done that exercise, it's really a lot. It's like getting into the gym for the very first time. You've got an atrophied muscle, right?
Yeah, so we can assume our gross operating income. Now we need to figure out our net operating income.
Correct. Right? So that's gross fully occupied. So now back that up. So can we compare that to single families? Well, yes, you can, and from an income standpoint. But what we recognize is not going to get as much appreciation, right? Because if I ever were to sell that property in the future, then I'm going to sell it to another investor. I'm not selling it potentially to an end user owner occupant.
Correct.
So we don't have that retail sale that we could go with on that. So then, there's a couple that I don't have to say their name, but they buy a lot of single family, and I said, well, how many houses would you have to buy to get $3,500 a month in rent? And they said, well, probably 2. So you're talking about $1,750 a month in how much would you pay for a house like that? Probably $150.
Okay.
So you'd spend $300 to get $3,500 if you were $300,000. Sorry, $300,000 to get $3,500 in rent if it was 2 single family houses. Now we recognize that's going to get appreciation. So I wouldn't expect you to, apples to oranges. If I can get $3,500 off $300,000, I'd want to pay less than $300.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to pay more for the 4-plex. I would want to pay less. So here's the question: how much less? And that's when I go, well, I don't know. Okay, so would you buy it at $1? Yes. Okay, how about $10? Yes.
We're bracketing here.
Yeah, we're bracketing, right? It's not $300,000. Yes at $1. And it's like when you force somebody to think outside of what they've ever done before, it's amazing how you start seeing the dust flying, the cobwebs coming off the cogs in the off the space sprockets, right? Or the Cogswell cogs. Yeah, a little Jetsons reference for those of you old cartoon kids.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're right.
Like the Jetsons is almost.
I know, right? Yeah. So when you when you hang around with people that start forcing you to think, then that's what growth is.
Yeah.
And so finally, we started coming up with some numbers, and it was fascinating to see how some people would go, I'd easily go 200 or 220 or something like that, and other people were like, no, there's no way, not any more than 150. And I'm like, okay, so you would only pay, to get $3,500 a month in rent, you would want to pay the same as like one house that gets you $1,700.
Yeah.
So that twice as much in rent. Well, because it's just something we're not familiar with. So it's also interesting to find that, okay, if you're not familiar with something, how conservative some people get. Okay, yep. So what I'll tell you is you won't ever become familiar with it because, number one, unless someone's physically challenging you to do this, right, or mentally challenging you to do this, you're not going to get comfortable with it. And you'll never, at 150, you won't get the deal because somebody else will buy it for 175, 180, 190, 200, whatever that number is. So you'll never become familiar with it. So how do you ever grow beyond just what you know? And what I'll submit to you is your thinking leads to your decisions lead to your actions lead to what you have. And so is there anyone challenging you that you trust? Let's face it. Whatever that wacko Congress lady is. I don't know what. I'm not going to get political, but the socialist, right?
Oh my goodness!
It's like I'm not talking about someone like that challenging your thinking, but even that. Take a look at what she says and analyze. Is that does it pass the sniff test?
Yeah.
So again, who are you going to allow to mentor you in terms of to let them challenge your thinking?
Yeah.
And so last night, we did that one fourplex, and then we moved to another. I've got a good friend of mine that's got 2 fourplexes that actually wants to sell them
on the same property.
2 fourplexes, next door to each other.
Okay.
Share the same parking lot, share common property line, all that kind of stuff.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And it's only available to our Asset Buyers Club members.
Yep.
And so we started to run through the numbers. Hey, what would you do for this? You know what? And so during the conversation, I picked up the phone and called the investor that wants to sell it.
Yeah. So
2 minutes.
Live question answer.
Yeah, hey, how much? What are your operating expenses? And they said, well, how much for lawn maintenance? And they were able to
trash?
say, $25 a week.
Yeah.
But only during the summer, once a week during the summer. Is that per building or for both? It's for both. Okay. How much for electricity? Well, it's metered. They pay their own electric. Well, how much for water? It's okay. We common water, and water's included in the rent.
Yeah.
And what do you charge for rent? What about occupancy? And we were able to look at some pictures. And
okay.
We're going to do a walkthrough tour. I haven't told anybody yet. We'll be sending it out because I've got it set up. We're going to do it Sunday. I don't have a specific time, but I think Sunday's a good time for the residents. We'll be able to walk all 8 of the units on Sunday.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. My name is Tom Perry. I'm the host of the Right Path Radio Show. I'm joined live in the studio with my brother from another mother. His name is Daniel G. So,
what up? So, I think before we go to break, it's also important not just who's mentoring you and challenging your thinking, but having the right people on your team to challenge you as well, because like you said, sometimes it's the guy that's expert in the sales, or maybe the guy that's expert in the sales, he knows a lot about the wind, but he doesn't know that on that course there's a big rock in the way, right?
Yeah, right?
So I see a lot of times these people that they've got great ideas and ambition, and then they surround themselves with other people with great ideas and ambition, and then nobody is checking the course.
Yeah.
Right? And you're picking up full speed ahead, but you don't even know where you're headed.
Right.
And you've got to have people above you and below you that can challenge your thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally believe that. So,
well, even like yesterday, I gave earnest money on this fourplex, right?
Yeah.
Just to lock it up. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. Am I going to keep it? I'm going to wholesale it, that kind of deal. And so got it from a wholesaler, and there's plenty of meat left on the bone. And we were running the numbers yesterday and all that. And she has a coach out of California.
Yeah.
Which I don't think this coach, based on some of the things he's saying, either he doesn't do deals himself, or he's not familiar with Texas.
Okay.
Because so you have to be careful is the person that's mentoring you, are they familiar with your market? Are they able to help you? And some things apply across, but the way he was telling her to do earnest money and all that, that's not the way it's done here in Texas.
Maribel was telling me about that.
Yeah, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We'll be right back in 4 minutes. The music says I'm out of time. I hope you'll stay tuned.
Mics are off.
Thanks.
Good morning, Mr. Perry. Aren't they out of town?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yep.
Y'all have a safe trip. If you need anything while you're gone, you've got my number.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive,
yes.
you could lose a deal
Brad,
that.
Yes.
You
And
need a
Brad,
quick
just let
turnaround
you know,
on quotes or
they're going to
binders.
get it set up
The agency
for
that is
a
Benchmark
walkthrough on
Insurance Group of
Sunday.
Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset.
Later
They know what
today,
you
I'll
need
be able
and
to
when
send
you
out
need
to
it. We're
the
here
three
for
of
you.
y'all that want to go see
Are
it.
you a rehabber,
And,
wholesaler?
But we
buy and
went
hold
through the
or
numbers
flipper?
yesterday,
Bundling
and
your properties
only
on a
thing
single
I
policy
talked
will
to the
help save
investor
time and money.
after
Benchmark has been in
our
business
meeting,
for over
and
10
the only
years,
thing that
and
they
we insure
left
over
out
30,000 properties.
that
Contact Benchmark about our
is that
exclusive
they do
investor
pay
package. Call
the
us and let us show
electricity
you what we
on
can
the
do for you
lights
at
for the common parking lot area.
281-569-4353.
And it's about
That's
I think they said like
$281-569-4353.
$25
or online
a
at
month.
benchmarkbroker.com.
Right.
That's
About $25 a month for the
benchmarkbroker.com.
lights.
That's
It's either 25 or 50. If it's 50, that's for both buildings.
Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab,
You know what
we
we haven't
manage
talked about
every
is
aspect
our
of a rehab
webinar.
from
We'll go
start
ahead
to finish
and
with a
announce it. It'll
highly
be
efficient,
Wednesday
standardized
of next
process.
week.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys
get,
to success.
they
Use
get
a
fly
detailed
pounding
scope
that
of
out as
work
well.
so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's
that $50 a month doesn't kill it, Brad.
832-742-9992. Or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Yeah.
Selecting a foundation company
That's funny.
and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance.
Yeah, you divide that
simply
$50
don't know
by
what you're
8
gonna get.
units,
The
and
foundation
it's
repair industry as a
Still
whole
doable.
Yeah.
doesn't carry a license, nor
Like
is it regulated.
$6 and-
However,
Yeah, that's gonna be a sweet
Foundation
deal when
Check
somebody takes it down.
utilizes professional engineers
Can't wait to do a case
review
study on
all
it.
of our files to give you the best foundation analysis.
Well, and they
in
were
today's
sending me
market.
pictures
Remember
last
to
night.
check before ever repair.
Stand
Call
by.
346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mics are hot.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. So what I want to talk about is that if you want someone to challenge your thinking, and in fact, we've created a webinar. It's called the Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop webinar. I'm going to do one live next Wednesday evening.
Yes.
It'll start at
April
7.
10th.
Yeah, it'll start at 7. If you go to our website right now, made a mistake. It says right now, Tuesday, April the 9th. It will not be April the 9th. That's my daughter's birthday. It's your anniversary.
Correct.
So my mistake when Andy came to me and said, hey, when do you want to do the next one? I said Tuesday.
Not thinking.
Yeah, not thinking.
We've got some ladies in our lives
Right.
that would
they
not,
come first.
would not be too happy with that, and we've
Right.
got to put them first for sure.
Right. So it'll actually be Wednesday the 10th. It'll be at 7 o'clock. So what I want you to go do is go to the rightpathrealestate.com website and register for the Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop, because you know, if you put money in the stock market, and historically the S&P 500 earned about 10%, Buffett's earned about 20%. If you can double that, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can do better than Buffett, it's like, I don't know what kind of rate of return you're looking for if you're looking for better than than Buffett, right?
Yeah.
But and we'll show you how you can get 30, 35, 40%.
And this isn't maybe if you get super lucky, this is performing in this market day in and day out. We've got the data to prove it.
That's bread and butter.
It's
right.
bread and butter type
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
And here's and it's like, you're not if you don't take the time to look at this.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there's a huge cost for not looking.
There's a huge cost for not looking.
You know, they say there's a cost for education. That not having an education is even more costly.
I mean, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to people you haven't even met yet.
Yeah.
To change your way of thinking, to look at something that you may not have looked at before.
Or even if you've looked at it before, be willing to say, hey, maybe there's something that I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, imagine you may doubt that that's a real thing, but come to the hour, invest an hour. What if it is a real thing?
What if it is?
I mean, what if it is?
Yeah.
Because, if you miss out on this, and I feel like there's a window of about 5 to 7 years right here in Houston. This doesn't work in California. It doesn't work in a lot of markets, but right now in Houston, Texas, this is working, and we're just gonna pound this money machine
we're gonna beat
for
it
the
up.
next 5 years.
We are going to beat it up.
And we're going to help other people do the same because I can't take them all down. I mean, I just can't. And there's more than enough deals. And so we want to help other people build wealth and income through single-family real estate investing. And you can ask questions about multifamily. You can ask questions about, Airbnb. You can ask questions about, machine shops or flower shops or, I'm just kidding about that. For those of y'all that have been following me, you understand that analogy. But you can ask me about other types of investing and why we think single-family is still second to none.
Yeah.
I love like storage units, for example.
Yes.
But I don't like them at the prices that you're having to buy them at right now.
And Airbnb and all that. Is it a good place? Sure, absolutely. It can be a good play, but restaurants are too.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get into the hospitality industry,
I had that conversation. just the other day.
Then
right.
I can give you some great information on how to start a restaurant.
Yeah.
We can give you some information on how to start an Airbnb. Both of those to me are hospitality industry 100%.
Yeah.
But we're talking about single family real estate.
Right.
And what we realize is there's not only can we not take them all down, but when we get to the next phase of whatever the market says is the next phase, we know that the options that we're seeing are not going to be things that we can take down the next level on our own.
Right.
Right. So we're bringing people with us.
Yes.
Because we're going to need those people. They're going to need us.
Yes.
To take it to the next level at that point.
Okay. So in closing, because today is 4/4.
Today is 4/4.
4/4/19.
Yeah.
So it is the fourth day in the second quarter.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, let's get
Today's
it done.
Today's the 5th.
Is it the 5th?
Yes.
It is.
It is the 5th. Today's 4/5, right.
4/5.
Yeah, today is 4. You're exactly right. It's Friday.
I was right along with you.
Yeah.
I was good with it being the 4th.
Today's 4/5/19. I tell you what, it's been a crazy week.
It has. I love it, though.
I tell you what, all the things that we accomplished, it's been amazing. So if you want to have your thinking challenge, go to rightpathrealestate.com, register for our Wealth Through Real Estate webinar. That'll be next Wednesday, the 10th.
It'll be live. You can ask questions.
You can. So thanks so much for listening, guys. God bless. Good golf, good tennis, whatever makes you happy. Enjoy your weekend.
Roddy T.
Mics are off.
Not yet on that. Okay.
You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Find Tom at rightpathrealestate.com. You can put the fear behind you and listen every day from 9 to 10 a.m. on Business 1110 KTEK.